to go? I think I'm ready to go. Mic's hot. Okay. Okay. I think I'm ready to go. Hi, everybody. I'm Emerald Fishy. And today, we are going to be doing thing just as soon as I've got my Twitter on the thing. Wow. What are words? What are words today? I'm just replacing everything with thing, and words do not happen for me right now. It's pretty gravy. Okay. It's a little better. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm ready to go. Trying out this new blue screen. It's not perfect, as you can see. Definitely not perfect, but it does some things. I don't know. What I really need is LED lights, I think, because the lights I have right now are incandescent. Or they're not incandescent, but they got warm light. Because I usually enjoy me some warm light. But the issue with that is I'm using a blue screen back there. And yellower light plus blue apparently to my camera equals everything gets grayed out now. Like, I mean, the background's gray, but I mean, the blue screen itself also comes out as gray. Like, ish. More gray than it should be for an actual blue screen which was bought. This isn't just like a sheet or anything. Let me show you, actually. Let me show you a few things about love. Filters. Yeah, so let's turn the chroma keys off real quick. Yeah. This blue screen right here is not supposed to look as metallic-y as it does. Like, the camera makes it look really washed out, but it's supposed to be way more vibrant of a blue. I'm looking at it right now, and it does not currently look in my eyes the way that it looks on screen. So the chroma keying gets, oh Jesus, yeah, it gets really questionable. I have to use 2 goddamn layers of it, targeting different shades of blue-gray, and it still doesn't really get everything it should. But yeah, so that's cool though. I have a blue screen now, and I'm hoping at some point I can get light bulbs in my room that'll be more blue color so that it'll show the blue back there better. But for now, yeah, I'm gonna continue. Oh, I should probably disable my headphones. Make sure Elgato is working. Yep. All right. Cool. All right, sir. I realized that I fucking basically died last night, only to not die. So that sucks. But, yeah. Let's do it. What's become of the trial into the Codopan Embassy staff member's murder? Indeed, since both the suspect and the prosecutor are now dead. I'm just gonna give him an emperor voice, fuck it. The case will be dismissed. In other words, the trial ends here prematurely. Looks like you'll have to wait a bit longer for your big debut. I suppose it can't be helped. The evidence for this trial will be transferred to you in a little while. What do you think about the murder, anyways? What's your take, El Capitan? The murders of Faraday and Rel. What an outrageous circus it all has become. That Faraday brought it all upon himself with his naivete. Outrageous circus. Right, sir. I grow weary of this topic, Edgeworth. I will have you assigned to a different case. You'll come and watch my courtroom debut next, won't you? Isn't she like 13? Like, what the fuck? Allow me to continue with my investigation. I know that there's already a suspect in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel. However, there's not enough evidence to prove it was he who committed the crime. I'd like to continue investigating in order to find the perfect proof of his guilt. The perfect proof. Don't make me laugh. A worthless person like you has no right to claim such a thing as perfection. Papa? Who do you think is the real culprit behind these murders? Miles and I are competing to see who can find the real killer first. Plus, being able to investigate the real crime scene is really rare opportunity. It would get us some real-life experience, wouldn't you agree? If you wanted to investigate the case as much, do as you will. Then you're allowing us. In court, your top priority is to win, and a solid investigation is one of the keys. We have to make sure you become recognized as a first-rate prosecutor. It wouldn't be very interesting otherwise. Edgeworth, Francis, here are not disturbed save for the results of your competition. Francisca, thank you. What are you thanking me for? Your logic area was built on that scruffy detective's lie. That means the competition is still on. Just as you wished. Couldn't let you get off so easily. Let's see how you fare on the investigation from here, Miles Edgeworth. Not enough information yet. Question anyone involved with the case. Miss You! That's right! Wait, you were at the crime scene just now, weren't you? Should be disbarred from not knowing who I am. Shh! This fucking chick. That? Guess that means for now you're still just another kid. In which case, it's only natural I didn't know who you are. Why are you whipping me? Damn, looks like they're planning to hold the evidence a bit longer. There's one thing I can't stand, it's waiting. Terribly sorry, I have a few questions to ask of you. Look at you, eyebrows scrunched, lines on your forehead. To ask of you. This fucking guy. This is bad at dealing with super serious atmosphere. Failed to teach her proper behavior at a crime scene in law school. I feel better now. What's up? Where you were at the time of the murder. We were in defense lobby number 1 the whole time up until we heard the gunshot. By we, I mean Mr. Bad. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him yourself. You were with Detective Bad. Why? Yeah, a little something to discuss, that's all. Alright. Take it that you're acquaintances with Detective Bad. Yeah, he was a detective in charge of the KGA. Detective Bad's also related to that incident? That's right. He was the one who was supposed to protect my sister, Cece. You know how that turned out, don't you, Edgeworth? I have no idea what you two are talking about. I've heard of the KG incident from my... Francisco's like, you fuckers, I don't know what you're talking about. Let me in. Let me in on this shit. You're making that super serious face again. I'm fine, really. I just make it a point to rub some more salt in his wound pride every time I see him. She talks about doing this, she laughs away. It's kind of creepy. Me and Mr. Faraday, I'd say they met up just about every single time the Yatagarasu made a move. It's practically a given these two would meet up every crime scene. He did mention he's in charge of the Yatagarasu investigation earlier. Maybe I should ask what she knows about that. Damn, she's just giving it all to us. Oh. I should probably refresh my dashboard. don't your lawyers usually discuss the trial with clients during a recess? We do, and that's what I was planning. But Mr. Faraday was being rather threatening, and he dragged Mr. Rell away. After that, Mr. Bad came looking into lobby number 1. We just stayed there and talked. What did you talk about with Detective Bad? Nothing interesting. Just insulted him some. Talked about how the trial was going, and insulted him some more. Bloody, when she's not laughing, her mouth seems spews. Nothing but insults. Mr. Bad and I were in defendant lobby number 1, so I really can't tell you anything about the hallway or 2. Mackerel. Ask you about mackerel. Now, client did the Yatagarasu, and you gotta ask about mackerel. So I heard it was the Yatagarasu had made off with the evidence from KG8. Began to ask Mr. Rell all sorts of questions, but to no avail. Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu, he just made that up. What? He made it up? This crime was caught on tape by security cameras, but there's no footage of him sneaking into the Kodopian embassy itself. You mean to say you knew he was not the real Yatagarasu and he was just another cold-blooded killer? And you were ready to defend him? Yeah, that's right. I see. So a defense lawyer is actually just someone whose job is to cover for criminals. That's why defense lawyers are so detestable, but they are no match for us von Karmas. I don't believe it. You're serious. Why don't you save that face for something worth really being serious about? Can you remember what I was going to say earlier? I have my own. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG incident, alright? And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer. Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rell was his lawyer. I had no intent of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. Sorry, forgive my rashness. Damn. I was wondering if you could tell me about the Yatagarasu. I don't really know much about the character myself. I do get a lot of consultation requests from companies to defend them. Requests from companies? The Yatagarasu isn't some petty theft out for money, you know. Perhaps the Yatagarasu is in the business of stealing people's lives. You're not very funny or witty, are you, Miss Von Karma? Oh! If you can't even make her laugh, we may be sued by. No, I chose carefully, just like you wanted. We are a couple of tykes, aren't we? Of course it was. What's wrong with these two women? Why does my pain give them delight? Never even heard of this thief when I was in Germany. Yatagarasu deals in information. Namely in digging out dirt about backroom dealings and the like. As a vigilante, you steal such info and make it public for all to see. Vigilante or not, it sounds like another criminal to me. I suppose you could put it that way too. Either way, I get a lot more clients now thanks to that thief. Sounds like Miss Yu is profiting nicely. Suppose I've gotten all I can out of Miss Yu. Move on, speak with Gumshoe now. Hey, Franny, what you got about this? What do you think about today's trial? Whole backside to this case we're not seeing. Here we had thought it was a case where two men had killed each other, lacking in information. As a Von Karman, I can hardly call this a perfect investigation. Indeed, it's as you say. Can't believe we agreed on something! That's what's so revolting about agreeing. Even if you hadn't said, I was planning so anyways. Ow! She doesn't like it when we agree. Yo, what up, Gummy? It's your Ow! As am I. I don't think you needed to whip him to let him know that. I didn't do it, pal. I swear on my honor as a detective, I really didn't. Your words are useless. I place my trust only in evidence, detective. Once the investigation's fully over, should we find out that you are the killer, there will be no mercy to be had. Have a heart, pal. But you're not worried, right? After all, you have nothing to worry about if you really are innocent. That's right. Hey, pal, go and do your perfect investigation and get the real killer for me, will ya? I would have done so even if you hadn't requested me to. So you and Mr. Faraday had a meeting last week. What exactly did you do to make him so angry? Just asked Detective Bad the same thing myself, pal. Turns out he was mad at me because on my very first day as a detective, I reported in my usual post instead of the Criminal Affairs Department. The time I got down to Criminal Affairs, I was really late, and that's when he gave me that huge speech. I remember doing the same exact thing in elementary school. On the first day of school every year, I'd always wind up going to my old classroom. How pathetic for the detective to be compared to a mere schoolchild. Oh, wow. I can't believe Fran just admitted to something she wasn't perfect about. It's kind of crazy. Earlier around 3:20 and from Detective Bad, pal. His trial took a real crazy turn. I was told to make sure nothing happened to Mr. Faraday. Yet something did happen to him, correct? It was a total waste of manpower to assign you to guard duty. Your words sting worse than your whip, pal. Detective Bad ordered him to stand guard. What's the next step? Left. That's the next step. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me? Nope, not a thing, pal. Allow us to take a look at what you're carrying on your personage. Damn! Fucking 14, 15-year-old Francisca just goddamn frisked this guy. You know. What's that open envelope I see sticking out of your pocket? Hands off, pal. Just show it to us already. Nah! Annual bonus check within. $5 total. Except there's no check inside. You had your look. Now give it back. It's my first bonus as a brand new detective. I just got it and cashed it today. I had literally no cash on me up until I did, you know. So that envelope's really special to me. Now give it back. You don't need rubbish like this. Don't worry, we'll throw it away later. How could you be so mean? Damn. Damn, so mean, girl. Need to take him in for questioning now. I think I've asked him just about everything I need to. No, wait, since he became a suspect, there is one evidence I should reconfirm. I ask that you wait a moment. I still have one thing I'd like to reconfirm with Detective Gumshoe. Understood? Please make it brief. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Confirm whether or not his testimony about when the crime occurred is the truth. Yeah, shit. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Present his testimony. You told me earlier you had heard no sound other than the gunshot out in the hallway. Is that correct? No mistake about it, pal. Then you're also claiming no one passed through the hallway either. Is that also correct? Yep, not even a single ant passed through that hall while I was on duty. You hesitated. I saw you hesitate. You do realize that the lie you're telling is only making life more difficult for yourself. Oh, it's true. I don't see anyone go through the hallway, and I didn't hear anything else. Bet the killer found a way to kill the two guys that's beyond what I can even imagine. So he intends to continue telling this ridiculous lie. Why would he do so, given the situation he's in? A thorough investigation of the hallway in the front of the defendant's lobby is in order. And then there's this kid. You! Oh! What the fuck? You little shit kid! That's a little shit kid right there. Looks like she dropped something. Swiss roll! Swizzy roll the chef! I made my lunch gross! I believe some sort of punishment may need to be dealt the next time we meet. I believe I've asked all I need to of this man. Now for Detective Bad and the judge. Have to confirm who it is, correct? The judge or that scruff face, right? should inspect the hallway in front of lobby number 2 then next. Suppose so. Shall we head on over? I think maybe Detective Bad did it. Well, thanks for your cooperation. It's just doing my duty as a defendant of the law. That'll be all for now. I'll ask again if I have any other questions. Anytime, Detective. If you'll excuse me, I have a few loose ends I have to tie up. Maybe it's just because it's the day after Christmas, but this guy could 100% be a mall Santa. Like, he could rock that shit. It's set to become the successor any day. New prosecutor recommended by I bit my tongue. Are you alright, Your Honor? Please feel free to refer to me as just Miss Von Karma, Your Honor. As for him, just Edgeworth is fine. Apparently somebody feels I'm not worthy of a proper title. Very well, Miss Von Karma and Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth's just fine, sir. What about it? I'd like to ask you a few questions about what exactly you saw. After all, it's my duty to clarify testimony as a defender of the law. Appreciate the co-op! Figure out that detective's exact movements. Yo, Your Honor, I'd like to ask some questions. Where were you at the time of the murder? Do you suspect me of something? No, nothing of the sort. Very well, this is like fucking, he's got his gavel. No idea you were chasing after me or my testimony. I just sense I might want to avoid being in a trial run by this judge. Boy, are you in for a ride, Edgeworth. When you get to be my age, you need to pay more frequent visits to the restroom. If you go take a look through the window at the end of the hall, you'll see a small window. That's the window to the men's dress. You can see clearly into this hall from the men's restroom. When I was going into the restroom, that detective, Gumshoe was it? He was standing in front of the vending machines buying something from it. And this I couldn't believe. When I was about to exit the restroom, there was not a soul in the hallway anymore. If you could please calm down and explain to me rationally. I'm really sorry. Let me regain my composure. It was really suspicious. That's what finally until the murders occurred, I just sort of brushed it off. This judge doesn't understand the concept of staying calm. That's probably all I'm gonna find out from His Honor. I may return my duties. Sorry to have held you up. Thank you for the cooperation. You definitely get the feeling that the judges in this country seem rather friendly. Yeah, not a little wishy-washy. I heard that they're known to hand down very fair verdicts. It's bad. I have something I wish to inquire about. How about doing some actual work, you? I wish to inquire about Detective Gumshoe's movements during the recess. You're getting in the way of the investigation. I have an order from Mr. Von Karma himself, plus I still hold investigative authority. So I hear you were the one who called for Detective Gumshoe to come down here. Faraday. That guy was just accused, you know. Just knew something was gonna happen. My detective's instinct told me. I'm not as good at it you. Couldn't even protect one lousy lone prosecutor with it. Alright, you two. Never in my life did I think I would ever hear Francisca apologize, but this guy's the real shit. He used the phone on the first floor and called the precinct. I told him to send somebody over. And that detective's the one that showed up. Only upon his arrival did you set Detective Gumshoe to stand guard, Detective Bad? Yeah, I waited for him on the first floor. After he got here, we came up to those defendant lobbies together.
As we entered this hallway, we ran to you. She told us Faraday was really mad. They dragged Rel off to lobby 2 to have a word or something. Then that Faraday had said to not let anyone interrupt him. So what choice did I have? All I could do was tell the big lug to stand guard outside.
And around what time did all of that take place?
Let's see. I think it was about 30 minutes before I heard the gunshot. After giving the big lug his assignment, he never left the hallway. Not once.
How can you make such a claim?
One of the guards out in this floor's main lobby swore to me he didn't.
The detective never left the hallway, then where did he disappear off to? It's simple. He must have gone to lobby number 2, just as I suspected.
You and I? That's funny. We were in lobby 1 next door. The only one without an alibi is Gumshoe.
It seemed that I'm still missing some key pieces of info. Ah, shit, fuck. Forgot I was actually doing questioning. Hold it! Alright, the gunshot. That's what we need. You also heard the gunshot, did you not?
Yeah. I heard it when I was defending lobby number 1. That's why I came running towards lobby number 2 together with you.
How much time elapsed between you hearing the gunshot and the arrival on the scene?
Less than a minute.
What were your movements upon hearing it?
Grabbed the big lug who was just walking around in the hall. Raced into lobby number 2. And that's when we discovered the bodies, in that order.
It makes you the discoverer of the crime scene, right?
Yeah, I guess it does. Yes.
I am about to become a prosecutor very soon. You'll treat me with the dignity I deserve, or else.
You wave that thing around anymore, I'll have you arrested for obstruction, little miss.
You wouldn't dare.
Just joking.
Damn! Really something if you can make Franziska behave.
Are we about done?
Yo, what's up, Ollie? I'd like to know a little more about the circumstances under which you heard the gunshot. The gumshot! The gumshot! That's like when Gumshoe finally shoots his gun. He'll call it his... Wait, I want to backtrack on everything I've just said because I realized it's a little hoof.
I have nothing else to add.
His testimony certainly corroborates with what Miss Hughes said. Miles, you already asked him about that, remember? I suppose I should ask about something else. Is there anything else I should ask him about? Where were you when you heard it?
How many times you can ask that? I wasn't defending my...
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Now get out of here. You're getting in the way.
I'm not through questioning yet. I'd like for you to tell me the exact time you heard it.
It's around the end of the recess, and the trial was about to start again, I think. He was supposed to make time for himself to transfer the evidence he was holding. But I got the sense he wasn't going to show for the handoff. I figured I should go get him or he'd be late. Just as I thought that, bang, the sound of a gunshot hit my eardrums.
I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to restart.
Are we done here? I don't have any time to waste.
Oh, come on. All you're doing is standing in front of the door doing nothing. I get the sense he's somewhat investigating the crime scene. Or rather, he's keeping us under surveillance. But to what end? May I ask you cooperate with us for just a bit longer?
I don't have anything else to say to the two of you. You guys are the ones who said you wanted to investigate in the first place.
Fine then, be obstinate. We'll just do as we please. You may no longer be willing to help us, however. May I ask for the forensic scientist's cooperation?
Do as you like.
find something, officer?
I think there's a $5 bill back there. Come on, just a little more.
Is there no one working on this crime scene who isn't the total waste? Fortunately, there doesn't seem to be a single person we can deem useful here. Found any suspicious fingerprints, officer?
Nope, just the fingerprints of those involved in the case, sir.
Guess we know all of the players in this case then, huh? It appear that way, but I've a nagging feeling we're missing something. I suspect what we're missing is hiding right here in the crime scene somewhere. He's making a most ridiculous looking face. Oh. Of course. Maybe this poster seems to be of no use to us right now. No signs the fire extinguisher was used. You can already tell that from a distance why you're wasting your time examining it. Let's try not to rush, absolute genius. What appears is vending machine sells snacks and various other foods. Homeboy, vending machine sells $7 for a hot dog? A single hot dog, $7 out of a shit-ass vending machine? Fuck you. Don't be a jerk like these beef jerks. 1 packet for 9. Defendant fresh milk, 1/2 pint for 7. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end of these for 6. Awfully overpriced. Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking too. When did that Swiss roll the little girl drop from this machine? I was wondering about that myself. Check out these hot dogs. When you're in hot water, you might need a hot dog. Looks like this slogan was decided through public contest. Prosecutor Winston. Ah. Ugh. Of course it was. If you leave matters in Von Karma's hands, everyone in the court will be found guilty, dogs. Objection. I object. Overruled. That's funny.
Objection.
Do you really think they put that much effort into the product, man? Even a foolish fool can understand the foolish thinking of the fool who made it up. Acting so foolishly, I got so utterly, thoroughly mad and famished. If you wanted a pack of these, all you had to do was ask like a normal person. Don't let the prosecution defense make a ham sandwich out of you. Looks like it's directed at the ham of a judge. Looks like it isn't directed at me. Can outmaneuver him any day. Stay neutral as the Swiss do till the end of these. Till the end of what? The end of the trial. Oh, whoops, I fucking... This means I could eat one of these during recess? Eat during a trial, so I suppose the only time you can eat them is now, huh? Wouldn't mind if you wanted to eat one now. They all come in packs of 2 after all. I'm in the middle of an investigation. I don't have $6 on me. If you want, we can pool our money and buy a pack together. If I have to split with you, I don't want it. Fran, you just... I'm avoiding those at the... You don't want hot dog and beef jerky for $7 and $9 though, do ya? My whip will make sure that anybody following this advice won't be for long. Compared to the sting of a whip, the sting of orange juice may not be so bad. Well, this was fun. Do I have any logic, by the way? Don't look like anything contradictory left in this area. Check somewhere else. Okay. Checking somewhere else. What? Oh, I can't go out. Oh, okay, cool. I can take a look at this. Look at this.
Window on the other side belongs to the men's restroom.
I can't see it.
To your height, I'm not surprised.
Don't call people short, Edgeworth. You're gonna get whipped for that. You're gonna get fucking whipped for that. I don't even feel bad about that. Listen, Francisca whips way too often, but that one, fuck. Don't do that. Oh, shit. I guess. Lol. Don't do that. What's this trail here?
Ants are hard at work carrying their food home. It's a marvel they pick up such comparatively large objects.
If you want to carry the mighty Von Karman name and not be squished under it, you better work extra hard, just like these ants.
Same goes for you, Francisca.
What's this?
It's a pink-colored piece of trash. Made of rubber.
Rubber trash?
I feel like I've seen something like this before.
All I see is a pile of garbage. You know, the fact there's a little running loose inside the courthouse. It's simply unforgivable. Oh, I didn't do it. Damn. Ow! What's the matter?
Pricked myself on one of the cactus's needles. Didn't think the needles on this thing would be so sharp.
What did you expect? Can you imagine how bad it would be if you were hit on the head by one of these? Cactus seems to be unrelated to our case.
You really think so? I believe this cactus sitting on the windowsill is completely related.
I look forward to your explanation on how exactly that is the case. That's a big old handprint. Someone going around dirtying the courthouse for shame.
Calm down, Francisca. Take a good look. Doesn't this smudge look kind of like a handprint to you?
I suppose it could be.
Which means, perhaps we can lift the prints of the person who sullied this bench.
I don't know the identity of our mysterious slob.
Lab technician, would you please find out who this handprint belongs to?
Sir, yes, sir. I've got the results of the fingerprint analysis, sir.
Do we know who they belong to?
The fingerprint belonged to Detective Gumshoe.
Interesting. Good work, officer.
Gumshoes, fingies, fingy prints.
I sense that you and I will be using this information in very different ways.
These black speckles.
I believe it's a pile of ants eating away.
Detective claims not a single ant slips by him, and yet there's a whole hill of them. Oh, what are you hitting me for? Placement for that pathetic detective.
Perhaps I should add this to the
Add this deduction to the detective's growing tab of baked guts. I was wondering what
pieces of cake and chocolate from a Swiss roll.
Swiss roll. Ah, wasn't me. Oh my god, she hates it. Oh, fuck. Ow. Big hurty. Large pain. Okay. Yo, what's up with my logic now? Vending machine at Swiss roll crumbs. So Detective Gumshoe bought himself a Swizzy roll.
Could they have not been come from a Swiss roll?
Why would the courthouse sell a thing like that?
May not seem like the right venue. It is being sold right over there.
Here's a Swizzy roll. By the way, enjoy my new giant glass.
suggest they came from a Swiss roll purchased from this machine.
I think I have a pretty clear picture of what happened here now.
Naturally. After all, I'm here, right?
Whoops, that was the other way around. Gumshoe must have sat on this bench as he ate a Swiss roll.
And as he ate, he dropped it on the floor and sullied the bench.
Ugh, how could he have not cleaned up after himself? How utterly despicable. Don't you dare whip me again, it wasn't I who made the mess!
If it was indeed Gumshoe who bought the Swiss roll, that creates a rather interesting contradiction of facts. I think another look at the special courthouse vending machine is in order.
Do I have any more logic? Rubber.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook.
Hey, this is some bullshit. How'd you buy a Swiss roll with $6 when the bonus was only for $5? What's up with that shit?
About Detective Gumshoe's finances. He didn't have even a single penny on his personage.
How poor is that guy?
If his bonus really was only $5, he
Shouldn't have been able to purchase a spack of Swiss roll, a spack of kroll, a spack of zwack of space rolls. Scruffy must have brought a pack somehow.
Indeed. Should not have been able to purchase a pack, and yet he did. The question is how?
I think I know how. I think Kay gave him the extra $1. That's where I'm at. Do I have any more logic to do? Pink piece of trash on the windowsill. Cactus. They were both windows. Did you know windows exist? Ah. Ow. Alright, you. It's time to start throwing things at you. Did you know I'm a pro? I'm not a pro. I'm not a pro at all. I'm a big novice. But did you know I was a prosecutor?
Showing off that make you feel like a big, strong prosecutor.
Of course not! I was simply proving my title of prosecutor to you.
Most prosecutors don't go around flaunting those things. It's like a detective walking around outside with his badge flashing in the sunlight. Show that off too much before you know you'll be elbow deep in angry criminals.
That would definitely be a problem.
KG8 incident. I heard you were involved in the case as well.
Yeah. That's all you have to say?
It was an unpleasant case I don't wish to recall. Got a lot of regrets I'll never forget related to that case. Regrets I'll take to my grave. Does he really have that many regrets? On the other hand, thinking back on what I know, I suppose he just might.
I'd like you to ask you this about Peacehead. I'd like to ask a narcissist. He'd rather look at his face than the evidence.
Don't trust your eyes all the time, little girl. I can see the evidence and keep an eye on the two of you with this mirror.
Why didn't you answer?
Because I've got nothing to say. That's all.
Understood. Couldn't he have just said that? I'm gonna throw things at you. At you! Here's a knife. You look like you are Swiss cheese. Nice fountain pen.
Fair day.
Sounds like you lost someone close to you.
He was a battle buddy. fought through a lot of wars together. The boy with a silver spoon in his mouth couldn't understand society's dark underbelly. Honestly, I suppose he's right. I don't have anyone I relate to in that way. It's not as though I long for someone like that, nor am I good at getting close.
God, you know what I want all of a sudden? Fucking popcorn, dog. I could go for some poppy of corn.
It's just as I said, I have nothing further to add. There's one thing a detective honors, it's that you must have confidence in and take responsibility for anything you say. That's what it means to be a detective.
In other words, you're just another stubborn horse, aren't you? Damn, got him. Fucking, got he! Shit. Well, I've thrown everything at this guy. Franny, what do you think about this? Notice anything? Big spacious hallway, nothing compared to the ones at home. Mr. Von Karma's house is a bit too spacious. Even with this much space, there's nowhere for that Scarface to hide, other than the crime scene just beyond its doors. I believe it's much too early to draw any conclusions. Gathered info. Wonder what really happened. No matter how unrelated they may seem, they might actually fit together somehow. Grow tired of your inner monologues. Say something. Ow! Gonna end up in pieces thanks to that whip before I can piece the logic together. Maybe I have to examine something, you know? Hey, I've got little profiles. Yeah, how old are you even? You're fucking 13, you little pipsqueak. Fucking whipping me. The judge. Let's see. Dead man. That's... He's a dead man. Yeah. Chirk. Is there no? Oh. Oh, yo, okay. Sick. Let's check this thing. The fuck? The weird part is it's only coming from this computer over here. That was super weird. Oh, I think I know what it is. Hold on. I think I figured it out. I figured it out. There we go. That was weird. But I just joined a new server and I just dead ass forgot to I forgot to do the notification thing. Honestly, I feel like all servers should by default have server notifications set to at mentions only, instead of like having to change it by default. So anything, I thought you have a crest stamp made. Huh. Yeah, that's fair actually. Look at that. Just the tip. Just the tip.
Quality nib.
My ballpoint pen is much easier to write with. You're obviously still too young to appreciate the finer points of a fountain pen. Don't treat me like a child. Wouldn't have to if you would only grow up. Oh, don't be that's a little harsh, Edgeworth. Then again, she is whipping you, so same old Franziska, right? Plastic bag. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Actively used. The killer left his fingerprints on the inside of this then. Looks like the killer was very careful not to leave evidence behind. Sounds like we have a very clever killer. Which means on second thought, maybe the detective didn't do it after all. Nah, got him. Get out of here, blood bag. Check the Swiss roll. Check the Swiss roll. I can't believe it's $6 for two. Who charges that much for a commoner's junk food? Too for me to eat if it is a case to be solved. The idea of working must be vastly different from my own. Swizzy roll! Swizzy! Courthouse special Swiss roll. Well, there must be logic that I have to do somehow. I don't know how or why, so I'm just gonna start chucking things. Pink piece of trash. Lobby number 2. Maybe? Part of the thing. Windowsill cactus. Pink piece of trash. Maybe the piece of trash was ripped off by the cactus. Oh, maybe. I saw this in different form earlier today. I believe this is a piece of a popped balloon. Suppose that's possible? Balloon probably got a little too close to our friend the windowsill cactus. Is that a piece of logical conclusion? Hey! Investigation complete! Feel it. I believe I now have a very firm grasp on what happened. Well, I do too! Alright, Franziska. Would you care to share what conclusions you've come up with? Why should I do that? We're in the middle of a competition, you know. It's almost cute she's going this far to ensure she wins. Almost. First we need to pay His Honor a visit to correct his testimony. Hey. I like how this is just like a prosecutorial version of the courtroom theme. Like it's a remix. Do you doubt me? Am I your new suspect? In a sense, I suppose you could say that. Even your judge is nothing but the common witness before a Von Karma. Silence in the court! Mr. New Prosecutor! Ah! Bit your tongue again, didn't you? As defender of the law, I could never give false testimony. You can even place me under oath if you want.
Very well, then. Your testimony, if you please.
Damn! I'm going up against a judge! I went to the restroom. The big J. Window on the hallway side. I could see into the hallway window. As I entered, I saw the detective buying something from the vending machine. When I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. Detective that goes missing while on duty sounds mighty suspicious to me. Oh, I think I get it. He fucking sat down. So used to simply listening to testimonies, I got caught up in the excitement. Sorry, Your Honor, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to spoil your fun now.
I'm gonna spoil your fun, baby.
Went to the restroom. There's a window on the hallway. There's a window on the hallway. Oh, shoot. As I entered, saw the hallway, detective buying something from the vending machines. When I exit, he completely disappeared. What the fuck, though? Where'd the love go? Didn't you just say I saw that detective buying something from the vending machines? Restroom window looks over the courtyard right into the hallway. I took another look. No one in sight. It's probably true. No one in sight. He looked into the hallway from the restroom and over the courtyard, did he? Detective that goes missing on duty. The missing J Fish. I'm perfectly palmed! It appears His Honor could not have been mistaken in that he saw. I suppose so, given his line of sight. However, why do you suppose our lines of sight are so different? You're referring to my height. Ow! Can you hold that whip still for just a second? Now, about His Honor's testimony. I believe his line of sight is to be an important factor. Why don't you hurry up and tell him already? There's one more thing I need to do. I'm gonna need to retrace Detective Gumshoe's movements. Shit, fuck, no, went too far, ow. Bip, that. No? No. No? Okay. Making such accusatory statements. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm truly sorry, Your Honor. Well, the idea is he was probably sitting down and he was under the window at that point. So it's just me finding out what piece of evidence procs that, you know? Got it. There we go. Just had the wrong statement is all.
What was that finger wag for, Mr. Edgeworth? You know it's rude to shout objection when someone's giving testimony.
Ooh, I will wag my finger at you however much I want. Whoa, that's a super weird. I don't even think it's an effect, but it's like. For example, I myself would never let an opportunity to shout objection pass by. It's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is real life. This is what some people may say. The pot calling the kettle black. Wonder if you might take a look at this for me. How dare someone dirty a hallway bench like that? This is the culprit. That party's guilty. It's already been placed under arrest thanks to your earlier testimony. Well, that's good. Who was it? Able to discover something from the smudge on the bench, namely Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints. Not happy with committing just murder, he had to go and dirty the courthouse too? Guilty!
Guilty!
It's true the detective is the one who made the mess on the bench. We have not yet established his actions related to the double murder.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh shit, is that my new judge voice now for a bit? Yeah, it is.
I believe the detective bought a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine, and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one.
Bitch.
The cake crumbs and pieces of chocolate on the floor of the bench and Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints prove my conclusion to be true.
But I still don't understand. Is this whole thing related to how I couldn't see him if I was leaving the restroom?
It is indeed. The window was built rather high up into the wall, at around a grown adult's chest height. As evidence, I submit that Francisca herself was able to see out the window.
Ow.
I knew I shouldn't have used her height as evidence. Basically what this means is that the area directly under the hallway window is a blind spot, when the hallway view being window.
It's a blind spot. It's a blind spot. It's a big blind spot. It's a blind spot. You didn't make the connection. It's sitting on the bench. The detective Gumshoe disappear from sight. What? I don't know why I decided to sing that to Free Fallin', but
Sorry. I didn't mean to say it with that much enthusiasm. All I wanted to do was try saying it once. Here, let me try that again. Hold it!
Is there something of value you'd like to say?
Yes, actually, there is. I remembered something else just now. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to the court one more time.
Even if we overruled him, he'd just keep talking, wouldn't he? That might not be a bad thing. The more info, the better in a perfect investigation, right?
it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom. Doesn't mean the detective was sitting there, though. I forgot to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. Leaving the restroom, heard the loud bang. 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 How's that?
Your Honor, could you try to state the important facts first next time?
I agree. Before you go around judging others, you should learn to judge your own words. Sorry. I honestly thought this noise was just this noise I remember him saying that. Holy shit.
When did the judge look into the hallway and whether that lines up with when the gun was actually fired? If I may, I'd like to clarify a few details in your information.
It's possible you can't see a seated person in the restroom mirror. It doesn't mean the detective was sitting there when I looked. When did you look?
At what point in the recess did you look into the hallway?
After I called for a recess, I handled the change of prosecutor paperwork. About 20 minutes until we reconvened. Sounds about right.
Just as I expected.
The all-knowing smile.
This is very important. Oh, whoops. I'd like for you to append it to your testimony.
Alright, if you insist. Let's see, I looked into that hallway about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. Gotcha.
Can't allow you to make an objection.
What?
Your Honor, I'm really sorry, but I can't allow you to not allow me to make an objection.
Egads, I've been overruled?
Simply too many holes in your testimony for my case. You claim you heard the gunshot during the recess. That's simply not possible.
Mr. New Prosecutor, recommended by Manfred von Gum. Oh, that was really fast.
I see you have no mercy for the elderly either, Francisca.
Don't talk back to me unless you want to be whipped in the back.
With your height, you need a stepladder of 4 to come. Holy shit, Edgeworth.
I heard the sound of a gunshot, loud and clear with my own two ears.
I hear an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Bad. According to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again.
You know what never happens? Finding a contradiction, and then the person we are making a contradiction against turns out to be right, and having to go back to the first person to be like, what the fuck, and it turns out he was lying instead.
A piece of evidence. I always did wonder why it... Now I understand what the gunshot the judge heard really was. This is what really produced the gunshot you heard. Balloon. I found this object in the hallway earlier. What is that pink substance? It may not look like it, but this is actually a piece of balloon.
I suppose you would like me to accept that pink balloon into the court record.
Your Honor, I present this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony. Your argument goes as follows. I like this. You saw no one in the hallway when you heard the gunshot. Now, there's no guarantee the detective was sitting on the bench at the time. Therefore, you believe he must have been at the crime scene, defendant lobby 2, correct?
That's exactly right.
Let me ask you something. Do you think the gunshot you heard was produced by a real gun? I think I've said enough for you can figure it out. You were fooled by the popping of this balloon.
What manner of trickery is this?
It's a good effort you put forth, Miles Edgeworth. I'd have wrapped this thing up before the judge even testified.
Care to elaborate on how one ends something before it even begins?
I did think the sound was a bit off from a real gunshot sound. Who could have guessed someone would pop a balloon in a place like that?
That's true. One doesn't usually think balloons in conjunction with the courthouse.
Kay didn't actually murder those two, did she?
Can't really vouch for its accuracy.
Oh no, giving testimony could be such a difficult thing to do. What have I done? I owe Detective Gumshoe a very big apology.
Wait. There's still a few things I've yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. I request you permission to further question Detective Gumshoe.
But why? I thought we just cleared his name.
Whatever we did just now, I can't say. The only thing I can do for now is continue in my quest for the perfect explanation. And to that end, I must resolve the remaining issues pertaining to the events that occurred in the hallway.
Very well.
Bailiff, please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courtroom. I've got to do it. It's gotta be May.
What is it now? Is it time for my trial already? I've already told you a gazillion times, pal, I didn't do it.
I'll be the judge of that, Detective Gumshoe.
No, you won't. I'll be the judge of that.
No, I'm the judge around here, and I'll be the judge of that.
Can you guys be a little less judgmental?
Well, speaking of hasty judgments, Detective Gumshoe, afraid I must apologize for an error in judgment on my part.
I don't believe you should apologize just yet. We've yet to prove he's completely innocent of the crime.
I guess so.
What are you guys talking about?
In that case, I'd like you to testify as to your actions while you were on guard duty. Remember, you're not on trial, this is all just part of the investigation. As such, you may still be found to be innocent. However, if you should give false testimony...
Yeah! My VIP will object loud and clear.
If you're found to be lying, you'll be held indefinitely. Understood?
I gotcha, pal.
Back on the state of the crime scene and the judge's testimony. It's
It's obvious that Detective Gumshoe is lying. I can't break his lie. We may never get a break in this case.
While I was on duty, came to the courthouse. Detective Bad's orders. Got here, ordered me to stand guard. From that time on, till I heard the gunshot, I was in the hallway the whole time. On my honor as a detective, I swear it wasn't me, pal. He's still singing the same tired tune. I'll have to change the melody. I know he's lying. It's time I pull the information out of him. Down here in this courthouse, to Detective Bad's orders. I'ma press a bunch. I was left in charge of the precinct while everyone else fucking was doing their shit. Want you down here in 1 minute flat, he said. Well, I thought this was my big chance, my first case, so I made a mad dash. Oh, I couldn't exactly get here in a minute flat.
How long did it take?
About 10 minutes, I guess.
What was Detective Bad doing when you finally made it?
He was waiting for me down the first floor in the entranceway. As soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2.
And by he, you mean
Detective Bad, of course, and this being my first time at this courthouse. He also walked with me up to the 3rd floor hallway in front of the defendant lobbies.
Did you meet anyone along the way?
Well, just as we entered the hallway, we ran into Miss Yu. We heard from Miss Yu that Mr. Ferret... Miss you. I miss you. Oh, that's funny. It's not to be interrupted. That's when Detective Bad told me to stand guard in the hallway, pal.
So far, Detective Gumshoe's testimony is matching up with Detective Bad's.
I guarded the door of the lobby number 2. What else?
What exactly does guarding that door entail?
Well, to put it simply, it was my job to stand in front of the door without moving an inch.
Detective Gumshoe, you mean to tell me that you didn't take a single step away from the door to lobby number 2? Is that really what you wish to testify to the effect of?
I didn't take a single step away from the door, just like I was ordered to. Francisca here, just knowing. The judge knowing. Edgeworth knowing. Why is everyone so quiet all of a sudden?
We're all in shock and in awe of your utter stupidity.
Scruffy, if you're going to lie, at least tell a believable one. I'm not lying.
Should hurry up and bring this insipid testimony to a close.
Hun. Sweetie. Gummy. Babe. I have an objection.
Detective Gumshoe, I wonder if you might recognize this from somewhere.
It's one of those things, the courthouse special Swiss rolls, right? Well, Swiss rolls, right? What?
In that case, I suppose that you also recall the sullied hallway bench.
You know what? I think it was probably me that did that. You know you can't go around dirtying up the courthouse like this. And consider it slovenly pig. Oh, she's gonna get real fucking pissed at Gumshoe. Promise to clean it up later, I swear.
Get down to business. About the fact that you didn't move even a single step in front of the door.
If that were really the case, how were you able to buy a pack of Swiss rolls? Furthermore, if you didn't move a single step in front of the door, how did you manage to bench those
Francisca's whip could do more damage than my words alone can.
I confess, pal, I was hungry, so I bought a pack for myself. I thought I'd get chewed out again if anyone found out about me on the job. Didn't want to say anything. I saw you do the whole dastardly deed. I clearly saw you buy a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine. Okay, I'm sorry for lying. That's all I'm sorry for, you got it? Because I'm not holding anything else back.
They sound like it makes sense. However, there's something I don't quite believe about it. Are you sure you're not withholding further information?
Of course not. But it is true, pal. I swear there's nothing else.
You're aware of the price of a pack of Swiss rolls, correct?
Remind me again? vending machine out in the hallway is selling packs of 2 Swiss rolls for $6 a pack.
Yet according to you, you didn't have any cash on you until you cashed your $5 annual bonus check. Isn't that right?
Oh.
Let me ask then, how did you manage to purchase a pack all by yourself? Can you provide me with a proper explanation?
I bought it by myself. There wasn't anyone else in that hallway with me. There's no one who could have helped me buy it. Wait, don't tell me. You got some kind of proof there was someone else in the hallway, don't you?
Correct.
As if you could. What are the chances of that? Wait, you do?
Of course I do.
What? How? Hey, it's gotta be the balloon, right? Balloon. No? Shit. What? Fuck. Shit. Shit. How long do you being strung along on this moronic detective?
No intention of falling for his lie. It was definitely a second person. That piece of evidence shouldn't exist.
I really thought though. Is it a Swiss roll in general? Oh, fuck.
I think you're under the mistaken impression I bought this pack of rolls.
You didn't buy it. That means you must have stolen it, you thief. What? I would never do such a thing. All you liars are the same. Start out as thieves. You're under arrest, pal.
I believe you need to assert all thieves start out as liars. And in that case, what does that say about you, detective? This particular Swiss roll was dropped by a certain someone. There were 2 rolls in the package. You ate one of them, but you then gave the other one to a certain other person, didn't you?
No way, pal. You got it all wrong. I ate both of them. Oh, get fucked!
Caught you at last.
Don't you dare do anything about that girl.
Pierre, they do know each other after all. Why do you continue to come up to me and kick me if I wronged you somehow?
I have a name, and it's Kay.
Kay what?
Kay Faraday.
Are you perhaps Mr. Faraday's daughter?
I'm not a you, I'm Kay.
Kay. You know, good little girls don't kick other people. Especially not hard enough to leave a big nasty bruise the way you do.
Well, you shouldn't have put Gummy under arrest, mister.
My guess is she's talking about Detective Gumshoe.
Cute nickname we've given him. Gummy didn't do anything wrong.
Appears I will need to speak with her in a bit more detail.
Rawr. Did a 10-year-old just roar at me? Okay. Alright, you little shit kid, let's do this. Did a 10-year-old just hiss at me? I don't like this one. It's like a stray cat.
Indeed. Feed her something. Promise to give you this if you calm down.
Ooh, Swiss roll.
Really belongs to you though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was saving it for Daddy.
Your father, he's...
Don't you say another word, pal. She doesn't know yet. Thanks for watching out for me, Gummy. But I already know about Daddy. Overheard the guards talking.
Oh boy. I myself was also involved in a case at this courthouse when I was a young child. A case in which my father, who was a defense attorney, passed away.
Oh my god, he's actually opening up to her. Whoa.
Common bond between us.
I'm going to just stand there and watch your lady cry.
You're right. Sorry about that. How about we use this handkerchief here?
Oh. 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 My cravat! Don't blow your nose on that! Oh, why this? Somehow I highly doubt that. I'm not going to push it. Promised I'd never cry in front of strangers. You're a good kid, aren't you, Kay? You always kept your promises, right? That's right. Even if I can't see Daddy anymore, I'm still gonna keep all my promises.
Very brave girl, Kay.
Keeping the promise. I'll even testify that you didn't cry just for you. That's... I'm only telling the truth after all. Wow. Everyone is okay with Kay. And I am too. Ow. Job is to catch all the bad people in the world.
So do you. A prosecutor's a hero of justice, I suppose it is.
Daddy would buy me absolute favorite to eat Swiss rolls. I want to be a hero of justice someday just like Daddy, so I've been working real hard.
And what have you been working hard on?
Been working hard to keep all the promises I made together.
Promise notebook.
Sure, okay.
Appears to be an exchange diary of sorts between father and daughter. Heard his writing contains a sense of a man he was. This little notebook just might come in handy later.
Damn, jotted down in my organizer.
Thank you for showing it to me, Kay. I hope you'll continue to work hard and become a hero just like your father.
I'm gonna try. I'm a detective that catches the bad people, right? That makes me a hero too. Fucking... Oh, Gumshoe.
What's with the two of them?
I hand down verdicts of justice. Oh, Jesus. I almost painted the detective as a vile criminal and sent him to jail. I'm really sorry about that. He's not a bad man, okay?
Poor judge. He's being treated like a vile criminal rather than a hero of justice. You and Gumshoe and good friends?
Yeah, we're friends. And mind telling me a little bit more about him? Dick Gumshoe.
Ran into Detective Gumshoe earlier.
Penis sticky foot. I hate that I just said that. Why did I just say that? No. When was this? Before everything got crazy. How long were the two of you together? We only talked for a little while. Then we went on our own ways. That's right, pal. Kay and I only talked for a little while and that's it.
Which means we have now confirmed that Kay was in the hallway during the recess, isn't that right?
Oh, gotcha. Told you to stop picking on Gummy, mister.
Very well. I'll just have to speak with the good detective in private later.
Swizzy Rolls! What do you want about the Swizzy Rolls, Kay? I didn't really have a lot of money. I somehow made $1 out of all the pennies and quarters I had. It still wasn't enough, and I really, really wanted one.
Come to think of it, she did come and ask me to exchange a handful of change for $1. That's when you came and asked me to change your money, correct?
Yeah, thanks so much for doing that, mister.
Let me ask you, even with that $1, you still didn't have enough.
Well, that's why... If you bully Kay anymore, I'm gonna have to arrest you, pal. You're the one under arrest.
I sense that Kay's gonna be less than forthcoming with this question.
Sorry about your roughly thing.
Yes, well, now it's positively drenched in your nasal mucus. Don't worry, Kay, I have a spare. So here, you can have this one.
Now you said never take things from a stranger.
It's one of the promises you made in your promise notebook, correct?
It's right here on this page. Never take things from a stranger, never go anywhere with a stranger.
Alright then, I'm not giving this to you, I'm merely allowing you to borrow it. You can take it home, wash it nice and clean, then give it back to me next time we meet.
Daddy never said I couldn't borrow things from strangers.
Nice. Nice loophole, Edgeworth. Uh-oh.
I told you to stop being mean to Gummy.
Miles Edgeworth, there's still something you have yet to resolve.
Beg your pardon?
You still haven't offered an explanation for why that man would lie to us. That's... well... Don't tell me you lied for my sake.
Don't worry about it, Kay. Everything's gonna be okay.
What was Gumshoe's motive for lying? If you can't explain that, you can't call it a perfect investigation.
Simple observation. Which piece of evidence proves Gumshoe was lying on account of Kay? Is the balloon piece, you think?
Did she pop the balloon? This is that piece of evidence. When are you showing that move for? Nah, you in a conversation. I don't get what you're trying to say with that. You gonna get it to me, mister? I don't feel the court needs to enter that into the court record.
What's wrong with everyone? Why are they all teasing me all of a sudden?
It's possible that perhaps I made a mistake. Nah, back to the topic at hand.
Is it... Slime account, okay. Did you go... is it cause... Is it cause you broke the promise?
If you could take a look at this page, it's clearly written that Kay should never take things from a stranger. When Gumshoe heard about the promise, he tried to cover for Kay.
Foolish reason to fools!
Gummy, you lied because of me, didn't you? So I'm your friend, Kay, that's why.
Long last, Detective Gumshoe, can you please tell me the whole truth now?
Guess there's no beating you up, pal. I'll spill the goods. Been standing guard for a while. Was getting real hungry, and that snack vending machine was taunting me. All the cash you had was $5, and that wasn't enough for anything. The cheapest item is a $6 pack of Swiss rolls. Then, like an angel from heaven, Kay showed up. I was thinking about sharing a snack with Daddy, so I wanted to buy a Swiss roll. I only had about $1 in coins. So we pooled my 5 and her 1 together and bought a pack of Swiss rolls together. I was worried about breaking one of my promises. Son Gummy said, Mr. Faraday's one scary guy when he gets mad. But don't worry, you won't get in trouble if I don't tell, right? Besides, you bought it with me, so you didn't really get it from me, you know? He told me it'd be okay. Gave a whole roll to save and give to Daddy. Scruffy could be so considerate.
Indeed. I take it you then sat down on the bench and ate the rolls together?
Yeah, split the other roll and ate it right there. Sweet taste of that cake's chocolate. I'll never forget it as long as I live, pal.
I believe this also belongs to you.
That's from the balloon I popped. Bad manners to leave garbage lying around, okay? Sorry. Guess I can't blame you for not throwing this one piece. Sitting high up on the windowsill, you couldn't see it. Just this once, I forgive you. I wanted to surprise Gummy a little, so I popped it on purpose, and because of me, Gummy dropped his half of the Swiss roll.
Damn.
So I thought maybe I should give Gummy the other roll. Now I saw you pick on Gummy, mister.
So you kicked me.
Sure, a feisty one. Really sorry, mister.
I'm perfectly unharmed. About this Swiss roll, would it be alright with you if I held on to it until Detective Gumshoe is cleared of all charges?
Yeah, sure. Just make sure you give it to Gummy afterwards, okay?
Of course. I believe we have proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway for the entire duration, which undeniably proves Gumshoe could not have committed a double murder.
Actually, it proves just the opposite, Edgeworth. You've just shown Detective Gumshoe is the only one who could have committed the crime.
It's quite rude to eavesdrop, monsieur. Oh man, you is just yucking it up. That girl the pension for whipping people. Dare you talk back in such insolence? You're wrong, lady. Gummy's not the bad guy. What's a child doing in a courthouse? Bailiff, please take this child in. Oh, she's gone. Miss Callisto, you. That girl is Miss Faraday's. I know. So what? Think that just because she's the victim's daughter, she gets to just run wild all over a crime scene? I think it's actually quite dangerous for her to speak nothing of getting at her foot. As long as we're in agreement, let's get back to the real issue at hand. You were in front of the door to lobby number 2 at the entire time, correct? Yeah, but isn't it obvious it could only be the detective? He's the only person who could have gone into lobby number 2 at the time of the murder. No counter-argument to that. I've already put the necessary paperwork for his formal arrest. Investigation's far from over. That's right, I was going to speak with you about that. Don't you think it's reckless to talk to the suspect out in the open without a guard? Someone with more experience in law and allow me to share something. Always keep a good eye on the criminal, or you may regret what comes of your negligence. Miles, I can't believe you're letting this woman lecture you like this. This is unforgivable as a disciple of Von Karma. Down, Tigress. Now, I'll be looking forward to the results of your investigation. Back to square one.
Actually, this is our last chance. I can tell if we fail to solve this case, Gumshoe will be formally charged under all the circumstantial evidence. It's not over yet. There's still one location we haven't done. It's where Detective Bad and Miss Yu were at the time. Lobby number 1.
Lobby number 1 time. Jump down. Let's do it. Let's do it. Lobby number 1. Number 1. Number 1.
I'm dicing up tomatoes.
I don't know, no fuck. This is incredibly overpowering sweet scent. It smells like flowers.
Uncle Bad, is this it?
Isn't that Detective Bad and Kay over there? Looks like she managed to escape the bailiff.
No, that's not quite it.
Aw, too bad. So pretty.
I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. Since you found it, guess I can let you keep it.
Thanks. Treasure it always.
Seem to get along rather well. Oh, here. Got something else for you.
Yay, thank you, Uncle Bad. Earlier I ate one of these with Gummy.
Gummy? Oh, you mean Gumshoe.
Gummy is... Oh, he was trying to be nice to me because I was going to get in trouble. Then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Oh, I know he didn't kill Daddy.
Don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying.
I'm not crying.
Okay.
Oh, it's the mister from before and the lady too.
Don't you think it'd be a good idea to go home for the time being?
You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant, so I'm related to the investigation.
Is that so?
Yeah, guess.
What? You're just scolding us like kids not to mess up the crime scene. You let this child run free?
People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that?
I don't have a problem with that, but I'm curious with what Miss Yu is looking into.
I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, alright?
I'm counting on you.
Oh, hey, mister.
What is it?
I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So please find the real bad guy, okay?
I won't forgive whoever did this, but in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there's no one else who could be the true culprit other than Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering.
You ponder so hard, dude.
May not look like much, but I find that ordinary tables like this one are very useful.
I think it's time to build a new one. I wonder what they'll replace this table with if I hit it hard enough with my whip.
Much too heavy-handed method if I ever saw one. incredibly strong scented herbal tea. I fear more than that, more than being relaxing. I fear that more than being relaxing, this scene may make one a bit heady. Heady? Heady.
You put in a special request for that.
No wonder she's so violent. She's been drinking this stuff the whole time.
Neither woman should be allowed to comment on this particular topic, ever. That expensive painting is ill-suited to be hanging on the wall of this room.
What little guard detail should be placed on it?
Why do you say that?
Desperate low-paid detective might make off with it someday. You never know.
She may be thinking about hiring a guard, but it's obvious she isn't factoring in the guard's salary whatsoever. One of the windows is open as well. Air conditioner is working just fine, so why they open it? These decorative plant leaves are shinier than the ones in number 2.
It's probably because it's next to the windows. It's easier to photosynthesize.
You may be right. Plus the curtains are always drawn in number 2.
Caretakers of this courthouse don't think enough about the plants, do they?
It's because they're the courthouse caretakers, not a bunch of botanists.
A bunch of botanists! You bunch of botanists!
I believe it's supposed to be postmodern in design.
More like thoughtless in design.
Damn. Can't disagree there. Television is the same model as the one with film number 2.
The two rooms are basically the same in terms of layout and supplies.
2 rooms are basically the same, huh? Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for?
Nothing that concerns you, boy.
I suppose it has something to do with Kay.
It does, 'cause she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste.
It sounds like you'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again.
I don't have anything to say to you.
And be that as it may, we still have questions we need answers to. First of all, what is the overpowering smell permeating the room? Upon entering, I thought it was going to suffocate.
It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. Didn't think twice and opened the window. That smell's still here.
Perfume, huh? Sweet scent in the air is perfume.
It's giving off quite the stench. I bet it's some cheap no-name brand.
She said it's a famous brand from overseas.
It's a knockoff, definitely a knockoff.
No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it.
I was born for a much more expensive and refined perfume. Seeing as how you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. You will hold on to this bottle without fail.
Can't she ever be honest about her wants? So now we have the perfume Miss Yu wears. Fantastic.
Is that all you wanted to talk to about? So I'm going back to investigating.
Actually, I have a few other things I need to inquire about.
Yo, I'm gonna take a look at this perfume. Same perfume as the ones. Damn. You perfume.
You were in this room the entire time.
Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here.
At least your story is consistent.
Earlier you stated you were in the lobby with Miss Yu.
Yeah, I ran to her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here.
Then what you're saying is that until Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in 2 different locations.
Guess I am.
Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you.
Let's see. Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of KGH. Detective Bad was the lead detective on the case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece, but because you were the lead detective.
You knew.
You knew? I also know today's trial involving the Kodopian embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG-8. Now, detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me. told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday, and the KG-8 incident.
You already know that much. Guess it'd be alright to tell you.
Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG-8.
It's not exactly a happy story, other than the people who were directly involved. You two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell.
That's a fucking sucker.
The honest truth behind the KG-8 incident. Faraday, you and I, as you already know, we three were involved with the KG-8 incident. Faraday and I were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring.
You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Armano Group's secretaries?
That trial was just a front.
A facade.
Yeah, the case became tainted. All because the witness who was gonna testify about the Armano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed.
Then what became of the secretary who was arrested?
His name was Colin DeVore. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring. But he confessed to knowing about it anyway. DeVore was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat.
The boss man of the Armano Group can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Armano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. Was he trying to seduce, suspecting Mr. Armano of being involved with smuggling?
I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed, but the man who killed CCU, Manny Caution, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once of the murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go?
If I remember correctly, I heard Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him.
That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, Cece. I was supposed to protect them both.
Miss Yu did mention that as well, about how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister.
But even I was supposed to protect him. I fell into their trap.
Kind of a trap.
The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap.
You mean you were fired upon?
You were shot that many times in one gunfight?
No, only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket's to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident.
I see.
Couldn't protect CCU. And the suspect was found not guilty. We had a brick wall, as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came into the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu.
About when you first met Miss Yu, it was on the day of the verdict of the KG-8 incident was handed down, was it not?
Yeah, Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do, but just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face.
Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to just stop at a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough.
Suppose not. You said it herself. She never wanted to see either of us ever again.
But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct?
Yeah, Faraday and I. Even after the KG-8 incident came to a close, we continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. It was no use. We cracked so many different cases. But the result was always the same. Couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring.
Is the ring really that big?
It was in pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor and I the lead detective. Took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney.
Her client was related to the smuggling ring and she was defending them?
Yeah. Yu was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Ralph this time for the same reason.
Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to that effect.
I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding KG8, alright?
For that, you have not a single qualm about defending an own killer?
Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get closer to Mr. Rel was his lawyer. As his lawyer. I had no intention of covering up for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. Doesn't really matter her reasons. Helping a criminal is just despicable.
You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you, that's how naive you are.
How dare you insult the daughter of a Von Karma?
Just like us, you felt she'd hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all.
The law is merely a tool. There's no limit to it, only the skill of the craftsman.
You two are still too young. One day you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all.
So what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well.
I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay? I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I cracked quite a few cases together.
But you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Yatagarasu case.
Did we touch a nerve?
I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial, to prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu, which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. I guess we won't be doing that either.
I sense there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yatagarasu is what's necessary. You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share what you know with me?
What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rel.
I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yatagarasu.
What?
KG8 incident and the second KG8 incident. Both are tied to the smuggling ring, and in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there's one point in which they differ, the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarasu. Mr. Rel claimed to be Yatagarasu, however, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real one. Then during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be at least odd?
Miles, Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and spit it out already.
I believe there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time.
Reason, huh?
So in order to catch Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel's cold-blooded killer, I feel I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarasu.
If it'll help you solve this case, then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarasu.
What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident.
Ah! Still accidentally whipped me anyways.
There are three main reasons why the Yatagarasu is always one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, he knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever.
I see, so those are the Yatagarasu's special traits.
Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief.
He's never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away.
But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove he wasn't.
Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. The difference about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodobian embassy, the Yatagarasu.
The Yatagarasu sent the evidence?
Till now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. Not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others, knew about.
In that case, how could you be so sure it was the Yatagarasu who sent it?
That's easy. A special card only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure.
Just what sort of card is it?
Here, take a look at the article. Whenever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was.
And that's how Detective Bad knew Mr. Rel was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagarasu now. Excuse me, Miss...
Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes?
As I would like to transfer the evidence of today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated.
Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you?
Finding the answer to that question's the only reason I'm still alive.
That's dark, holy shit. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself, and to play a part in ensuring all criminals everywhere are found guilty. What up, Big J?
Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth.
It appears his honors was still dispirited.
For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimonies.
Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict.
Francisco has no need to further depress his honor.
I'm not trying to.
Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me.
Ow.
I've come to bash my laptop with my hand by accident. Your Honor, the evidence?
Your Honor. Oh, you. Yes, can I help you?
I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir.
Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job?
And I would, except the defense attorney is yet to arrive.
She's busy with the investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we?
In that case, please confirm all the evidence is present. The evidence we use in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Bell are also included. Please go ahead and use them in your investigation.
Understood, Your Honor. This is reused in the murder of those two men. Could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding the case. Maybe something will finally lead me to the truth.
Placed all the evidence at the prosecutor's bench.
Damn, we're just getting a fucking layout of evidence. That's nice. Perks of being a prosecutor, I guess.
Evidence Miss Yu prepared is just sitting here on the table.
You know you can't just walk off with it, right?
Of course I do. Miss Yu must have been caught off guard by her client's sudden accusation. Wonder how she would have defended Mr. Rel if that case was...
Is evidence related to today's Kodopian embassy trial from Mr. Faraday's.
You mean the evidence?
You mean the evidence? Well, what are people? The evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2.
Yes, finally we can take a look at the evidence itself and not just data. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time.
Agreed. I want to take a look at all of them from the embassy murder too.
Why is that?
Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about. No! Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something. And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today.
I see someone's still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma.
It's also real to see the knife up close.
A knife, gun, envelope. What's this organizer doing here?
Oh, that's right, I completely forgot. They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer in that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it be passed along to you. He said it would help investigate. Help investigate.
Never look a gift horse in the mouth. We might as well flip through it too.
I won't rest until it inspected every suspicious-looking nookie and cranny.
This gun was originally used to kill the Kodopan Embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Rell still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest.
And then this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic.
Doesn't seem to be anything we can learn from this piece of evidence. It's the knife used to kill Mr. Faraday.
Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act?
It's never crossed your mind that you use your writing crop for the wrong purpose.
Nothing unusual about this area. No, there super is. I just overshot it.
Mr. Faraday's organizer. Appears he was in the habit of using it.
Looks like he wrote strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down here.
Collected the evidence I need to prove that Rell was the killer. Between the handgun... Oh, shit. Edgeworth started talking again.
It appears Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rell was the killer in the case.
The sound of his handgun going off recorded with superb clarity and surveillance. I also have evidence I can use to prove Rell is not the Yagdagarasu.
It would appear he also appeared.
It would appear he would also appear that he would also appear. Fuck.
That he had proof Mr. Rell was not the Yagdagarasu.
No matter how many times and how he may try to play, as long as I have the Yagagarasu's key, I can prove he's a phony. If I present it to him in court, it should clear everything up.
And a very definitive piece of evidence.
It's been a long battle. I hope this will finally bring it to an end. I believe that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rell may have made about being the real Yagdagarasu.
And he had the way to prove Mr. Rell was the guilty party in the embassy murder.
This organizer is a clue straight from Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read.
Look, the picture's stuck between the pages here.
It appears to be a key.
The rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle.
Craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yagdagarasu key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer?
The Yagagarasu's key.
Detective Bad said something earlier.
What's different about this time is the evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodopian embassy, the Yagdagarasu.
The Yagdagarasu sent the evidence.
Until now, the Yagdagarasu would have always publicized corrupt dealings through the mass media, but not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew.
Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret key safe. As the prosecutor on both Yagdagarasu and smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected. It's odd.
What is it?
Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer.
That certainly is odd.
The weapon that was used to kill the Kodopian embassy staff member was a gun. But if that's the case, where did the knife that used to murder Miss Faraday come from? Mr. Faraday.
Isn't it obvious? It was brought in the courthouse by Mr. Real. That's the only logical conclusion, yes?
No, it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Further, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside.
Is that the case? How do you know this? How do you suppose the knife ended inside the courthouse?
You need to think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. It's a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there's one item listed in the organizer that no one's claimed to have seen today. In order to solve this mystery, I believe I'll need to take another good look at the evidence.
Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me?
Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca.
Then what is it?
One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. plastic bag?
I don't see how that answers my question at all. Every piece of evidence has some secretive aspect about it.
Demand to know what the secret is to this one. Alright, maybe there is no secret to this one.
Need to think carefully here. Nothing related to the knife written anywhere in his organizer. It's a fact that this knife came from his evidence bag. Conversely, there's one item in the organizer that no one's claimed to have seen today.
I mean, is the knife big enough to conceal inside the key? Okay, cool. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth.
You just need to look a bit closer, Francisco, to see what I mean. Don't the color and ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything?
They do remind me of the knife.
Very good. Both the Yatagarazu's key in this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on the handle. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the key, the only object we found was the knife.
You don't seriously mean to say?
It appears you've finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say these two pieces are in fact one and the same. Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Let us examine the knife in a little more detail.
Ah yes, 50-cent blood on the knife. Even the flower-shaped design in the gold section here. If this hadn't been used as a tool for murder, I'd want it for myself.
Seems to be drawn to the embellishments. Too bad this isn't mine to give.
No, I want it. Give it to me. Hey! I can't believe it turned into a key. To think there was a trick to this thing.
The weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yatagarasu stole. This is more critical than anything we've learned up till this point.
Frankly, I'm shocked.
Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect.
The key aspect. Yeah, I get it. It's possible even he had no idea the key was hiding a knife blade inside. But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to the knife could have killed Mr. Faraday.
Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than Mr. Faraday. The only person it could be is the one who sent it in the first place, the great thief Yatagarasu.
Then maybe Mr. Rell really was the Yatagarasu. And he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario?
Not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier,
we questioned Rell about what was sent along with the white card. Rell had no idea what it was.
I see. Alright then. I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else. And that person is the real Yatagarasu.
Seems this key truly is the key to saving the key. Key.
What have we got in this envelope?
Took a quick look through these documents before the trial started.
I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim them.
Suppose just explain it then.
Yes, you should. Perfectly, and in entirety, as you please.
On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot through the heart. And Macrell was brought that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot.
Simpleton of a man, that's what he was.
Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Rell was caught in act on the security camera. He was even bigger
Simpleton than I thought. Can't believe he didn't notice the security camera.
Codopian Embassy's security system supposedly, very tight. May have simply not been aware there was a camera.
So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself?
Yes, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Rell on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear.
So the footage included sound. I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life.
Me neither. It's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. And the piece that's missing is the surveillance video played in court.
How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go?
The video is showing the movement in which Mr. Rell committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed?
You done with your inspection of the evidence?
Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I'm missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence.
Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties?
I dare not lick my duties. What do you take me for?
No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial. The surveillance video is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me.
I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at that scene.
Something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I'll have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, defendant lobby number 2. Maybe someone left it in the VHS. Or rather, the VCR. Fuck. Oh no. Oh, that's Detective Bad, but who's he with?
I've never seen that officer before.
So did you find it?
No, not yet. I've looked everywhere.
I see. Well then, please continue with the search.
Understood. I'll continue the search. So you're the one running the show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes.
How dare you? Just who do you think you are? What was that all about? Who was that man just now?
Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life.
Does he even know we're standing right here behind him?
He's got a mirror.
I know you're standing right here behind me. What do you want, kids?
Looks like you were paying attention after all.
Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head.
So that mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. Who was that rude man just now?
Yo, what's up, Ollie? Burn it up!
The guy came here from the Republic of Zhangfa to study. He's Agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch.
Is he a bad cop? I don't know. Maybe he is. He doesn't strike me as a bad cop necessarily, but I don't know. It's to be decided.
By visiting various police departments around the world, he's a lot of dedication.
Still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort in him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he's rude.
Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time.
I agree, however, I can think of one young lady that statement applies to. What was that agent looking for?
Earlier, that little girl was poking around in Lobby 1 as well.
Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you.
I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine, if this is the game he must play, I'll take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding and what happened in the room straight from him.
Check the VCR!
Gumshoe was rather shocked at this and said it was huge compared to his own.
Anything you compare to something he owns will always seem grandiose.
Speaking of grandiose, I'd say that ego of yours could use a little deflating.
Check the VCR, you fuckers! Someone could have just left it in.
Quite the busy man, Detective Bad.
Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what detectives say.
In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what happened again, correct?
I don't have anything left to say to you, boy.
Boy, I will draw out my answer from you one way or another.
But it kill you to help us even the tiniest bit.
I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think?
Please, we're asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation.
Don't push me, kid.
I'd like to ask once more about what happened around here at the time of the crime.
I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about?
Things you don't know about? Aren't you supposed to know everything? Everything?
Should. Wait, is it possible? He doesn't know about the truth behind that piece of evidence.
Okay, I will show him to it. Show it to him, I mean. Look at this. Look at this knife!
Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of the items in this photograph?
Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case.
In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same?
What? That's impossible.
Looks like you didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which you call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this key to prove that Mr. Rel was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct?
I guess so.
However, Mr. Faraday had no idea it was in fact a knife.
Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that. And if neither one of us knew, no one in law enforcement knew either. How do we miss something as big as this?
I noticed that since a little while ago you appear to be searching for something. I presume this key is what you were searching for.
Yeah, that's right.
Why were you searching for it?
Because I promised Faraday. I promised I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that this key is what took Faraday's life?
Detective Bad, so that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more.
Alright, it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing'll change.
Time of the murder.
Detective Bad, I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2, what you experienced in lobby number 1.
My answer's still the same. And this is the last time I'm gonna do this.
It's fine. I only need this one last time. Find the truth behind the case.
I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. Heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. Saw Gumshoe goofing off there around. Then we all ran into lobby number 2.
Sounds like the exact same story he told us before.
However, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information we can.
This is in lobby number 1, talking with you.
Why did Miss Yu choose lobby number 1?
Answer me.
Who knows? She just said she had something she wanted to talk to me about, and we walked into lobby number 1 together. That's all.
So his answer remained the same as before, I see.
Talking about some trivial things.
I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing.
Trivial stuff. There's nothing important.
It's for me to decide.
Alright, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on then.
Damn. Just gonna roll over and let you take it.
Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything that was out of the ordinary?
I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot.
The gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder. That would give the other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning.
I ask that you please amend your testimony with the statement just now.
Sure. I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot.
So, you didn't hear anyone being stabitated? That wasn't it. Wait. If you didn't hear anything strange, you didn't hear the balloon. Yeah.
Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything?
It's the same color as the one Kay was holding.
Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon.
Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her.
Well, as you may have already surmised, the piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon.
So, what about the balloon?
I wonder if you might remember hearing the balloon pop at some point.
What are you getting at?
This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of Lobby 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot.
Oh, so the sound the judge heard wasn't actually a gunshot, huh?
On top of that, his honor said he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene.
Which means His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. If you were in lobby number 1 at the time, you were close enough you should have heard it as well.
So,
Don't give me a so.
We just proved there's a flaw in your testimony.
crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking. And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place are so rugged? It's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked.
What is that supposed to mean?
The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. Top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material.
Then you mean...
Since I was shut up in lobby 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound.
I knew that's what he was going to say.
Since that means the Scruffface's testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, of course he wouldn't have heard any sign of struggle.
It's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now do you get it, kids?
I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic, not the other way around.
The other way around? It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby 1. If we examine the situation in reverse, the person standing in the hallway shouldn't be able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. If that's the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot?
What do you mean, how? I just did.
It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words.
Oh, how so?
If the rooms are as soundproof as you say you are, how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears?
I see what you mean. Guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I thought.
Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to?
Boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have.
Looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again.
I already know this. All the windows in each area was open.
Spilled some of it.
Way too noisy.
Surveillance video. How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go?
Oh, it's logic time. Thank you. Missing evidence. Very loud television. It's still in the VCR. Eject the VCR. What? Oh, fuck. I got it just now. Okay. We know the window and the smell go together. Right? Yeah, okay. It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows, and yet the fragrance of perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through open barred windows. Okay. Now open windows, loud television. Do it. Ah? Yeah. What else besides a smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? Sound. No matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. The windows in both defendant lobby 1 and the hallway that were open, that explains the sound of a gunshot being heard in both locations. Kablamzo! Even though I don't really know how those two particularly connect unless... The missing piece of evidence is a video. Did they not hear the actual gunshot? They heard the loud noise from the television that showed the gunshot being killed? It should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess and brought back here. If it disappeared after the time, It's possible the tape is still here in the room. Eject the VCR! It's what I've been saying the whole time! Just eject it! Stop wasting time syncing and let's start over. It's not a waste of time for it to think, for I have figured where we should look. There that be. Examine the television.
TV. Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like.
It's in the... Check the VCR. Eject the VCR. I can't... It's a video player. It seems to be a videotape inside. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. Could it not be the missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but... Detective Bad, would it be alright if I verified the contents?
Sure. Knock yourself out.
Rewind.
Ah, yeah. If I remember correctly, the footage of Rel getting the embassy staff members should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape.
Understood. Should be about right. Let's see. Thank you! This is the footage of Mr. Real shooting the embassy staff member. I knew it. Pieces of missing evidence. The surveillance video was here all along.
This sound. What's the meaning of this?
Appears Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot. I think we can figure out the trick behind the double murder. Do you mean you figured it all out then? All I have to do now is show what the gunshot Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it. Fine, in that case, show me what you deduced. Show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard, and through where they heard it from. Window! Yes, it is! But this leaves a gigantic question.
Where did the real shot come from?
'Cause windows were still open. Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu. All three of them heard the gunshot. The windows in lobby number 1, number 2, and the hallway were open, so naturally the people in these locations could hear it. But then why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. It's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this. Why was that necessary in the first place? A real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction! I believe the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. The murder weapon? When the crime took place. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes. They used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so. So that's why the tape was left running.
You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video?
Yes, which means the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. Must have been during the recess, but before Gumshoe was on duty. Someone who had no alibi for that time period and planned this crime out in advance. That person's the real killer. Would that only be you?
Mr. Edgeworth,
What is it?
Miss Yu was asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says that she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something.
Looks like Miss Yu is still investigating. Please tell her I'll be right over.
I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say.
It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. To be continued. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the bathroom real quick. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break, bathroom break and whatnot. I will be right back. I have returned.
What is up?
I am here once again, and I am here now. Okay, what are you doing here?
Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating.
The object you're looking for is already...
Hold it!
Okay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation.
Okay, you got it.
Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you were looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do.
Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought.
So, are we all just here?
Been waiting for you, Edgeworth.
I've also been waiting for the moment where we can finally lay this case to rest.
The moment in which we finally get. Well, not when we place Detective Gumshoe under arrest. I think I've more than solved this case already. Don't you? You'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds up. Oh, I see. We even have a viewer in the gallery, and why even Mr. Bad is here. Viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just another bystander.
I have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out.
Oh, is that right? Anyway, thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. Taken statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. Also confirmed that there's no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must be without a doubt Detective Gumshoe.
That's all you have.
That's all there is to my conclusion, and this case.
Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there's always time for a rebuttal, and here we are standing by a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules in this case, don't you think?
Yeah, well, absolutely like a rookie thing, say. Alright, I'll play along, give you proper testimony.
If my logic is correct, I've already won. All I have to do now is prove it by showing who the real killer is.
Everyone, sans the suspect, has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene had all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed there's no possible escape route from lobby number 2, which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion. Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth.
But of course, there's no need to confront her logic head-on right now. Should instead focus on drawing out any trump cards she has up her sleeve.
Interesting. I guess that's code for press your ass. Hold it! Press your ass!
Suspect? But I thought Detective Gumshoe's alibi had already been proven.
Are you joking, Edgeworth?
I assure you this is no joke.
Look, I know you already heard from the judge earlier the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday eating a Swiss roll.
That's correct.
See, that was 20 minutes before the real gum shot went off, right? The problem is, there's no one else who can corroborate what he did with since the snacking.
I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding.
Press that ass. Press that ass.
Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is up for me to decide.
Scrunched eyebrows, line on your forehead or back. Even if you believed it hasn't been exhausted, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. Because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect.
Isn't it also possible someone escaped through a window and into the garden?
That's the first place everyone looked, silly. Police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know? Isn't that right, Mr. Bad?
Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything. The courtyard garden.
I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case.
Hold it! Press that ass!
You're absolutely positive there are no possible routes of escape?
Of course I'm sure.
And why are you so certain?
This is a courthouse, the place used where criminals are brought to be judged. If they're an escape route, I'm sure every criminal will be using it to escape. Just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Ow! Which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion. Detective Gumshoe is the killer.
You may think it's unshakable, but to me there are still too many unanswered questions. Who was it placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand?
Yeah, but you're the only one still wondering that. Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing.
Not about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. Before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. I don't recall either Francisca or myself speaking with you about the subject.
There were witnesses. For you, there's your mentor who gave you an alibi.
I see.
As for the little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess. And was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Ganra. I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard, bailiff, or anyone else.
Basically, the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out I was to be a replacement prosecutor. By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Gumshoe was brought assigned to guard duty?
What about him?
You looked into people were doing during that span of time.
What did he take me for? Doesn't matter when the killer went into lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed. The only person who could have committed the crime was Gumshoe.
Let's talk about you and Detective Bad. You heard the gunshot. Suppose if we go by your logic, Gumshoe is the only one. What if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when the gunshot you heard went off? What then?
That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception of when the crime took place. Sadly, your explanation's very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in Lobby 1. Care to explain how that could have been fabricated? Aw yeah, straight to the vid. I got myself a video.
It's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell, the prosecution presented in today's trial. It was found fully loaded in a video player in lobby number 2, connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up.
And I'll tell you what, fucking old television all the way up, that shit'll blast your eardrums straight off the fucking head. It's bad. Don't turn your television all the way up. I don't know why anyone would do that. Can't honestly mean the sound we heard was the gunshot in the video, but I do, which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than anyone heard the gunshot.
That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's Evans bag, turned the television volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot to come on. But since we now know this
Manipulation of manipulate the method of time manipulation.
it opens up the possibility the killer is someone else other than Gumshoe.
Sounds from a television doesn't amount to much here. But of course Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew it. Didn't we, Miles?
Of course. We know about the soundproof quality of the courthouse's room. Of course I'm not about to admit we had no idea until a little while ago.
If the rooms are soundproof, we shouldn't have been able to hear it. Yet we heard the gunshot clear as day. And that's it. End of story.
But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot?
I mean, that's just easy.
There's actually one common point between Lobby 1 and 2, and is that despite the fact that both have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Now we know the window in Lobby 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in Lobby 1 was also open.
It's probably just coincidence they were both open at the time.
There's no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window in Lobby 1 opened? That answers that a certain person did something to cause the window to be opened, and the person who triggered that action is the real guilty party. The real killer in this double murder is... It's probably Callisto. Let's do it! Miss Callisto, you. I hereby formally indict you in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell.
What? You indict me? Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she's the killer?
I don't understand her motive just yet, but of course I'm serious. She's the only one who could have done it. Well, do you still feel like laughing now?
Of course I do, Edgeworth.
Argument must not be tight enough yet.
Though I'd never thought things would spiral into this. I'll have you know, I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. Guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? You argue the window was open, however, do you have proof it was I who did it? Furthermore, do you have proof the tape was used in committing a crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this, especially with logic as full of holes as you. As yours, I mean.
This is where it really starts. Mustn't let my guard down for even a second or the truth will blow away. Now's the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test.
Window's open. Do you have proof it was I who did that? Trial's about to start. Would this be it? Doesn't look like it. I'll just press some.
All I'd need to do is have some prints analyzed at window straight away.
Be my guest.
She sounds as though she has the room to maneuver, which means, even if we were able to lift the prints, they'd only show it was someone else. Why that someone else was forced to open the window? That's simple logic. I'm gonna try presenting that piece. I have nothing to lose.
Scrunched eyebrows lie on your forehead, they're all back. Are you going to be okay not running a fingerprint analysis?
I'll be fine.
In that case, I'll just continue with my testimony, alright?
Proof that someone else got her to do it.
Someone else did it. Somebody else did it. Somebody else did it.
It was fucking...
Is the idea that it was only her who could have done it? Therefore... No. Maybe in the same vein, though. No. Maybe I'll keep pressing.
Thought I just proved that it was.
Sure, you proved the tape was there at the scene of the crime. That didn't prove it was actually used.
Fortunately for you, Miss You, the fact that the tape is there at the crime scene is itself very important. By the very existence of that tape, it proves the possibility that the wind of the crime scene could have been fabricated. And that possibility alone renders all alibis and witnesses irrelevant. It means we'll need to re-examine every person's movements again. Whether the tape was used in the crime scene, we can evaluate afterwards.
So in conclusion, you're admitting you can't prove that it was what was at this point.
Even if you're shocked, that's of no concern to me. I do things my own way.
It seems that you're not laughing for a change, because I'm shocked.
Let's continue with the testimony.
Alright, but let me say just one thing. You shouldn't go around accusing people.
Full of holes. I suppose it might be.
Maybe your faults now, are we?
At this point in time is what I meant to say.
Should I take that to mean you're just a sore loser?
You
matter how full of holes my logic may be right now, if I plug them all at once, I'll ultimately make my way to the truth. What a paradox. Take care of not falling in one of those holes before you fill it up. You remember, don't you? That's why I have in the lobby one that's open. Oh, because of the fucking... yeah. The perfume. Gotcha. Forgot about that for a sec, actually. Sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss You? Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know. This isn't mine! That's right, it's mine. And I received it from Detective Bad, you see. Miss You can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure. This bottle of perfume was given to Detective Bad by you, because it gets really strong really fast. What about the perfume? While you were in Lobby 1, you made a big show of spilling some of it. According to Detective Bad... Oh, I know. You also knew if you spilled it, you would naturally move to open a window. Come now, I've already told you that's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in Lobby 1, I just left it open, you know? Maybe it was just dumb luck we heard the gunshot through. The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you can control. The most important fact about this case is when people were made to be heard, to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean... Miss You were the one who called Detective Bad into Lobby number 1 when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into this hallway, is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought up by you, Miss You! Ha 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 ha. Accuse me of murder on the fact I spilled a little perfume. Allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Let's do this. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. Damn! Simply could not have been me who killed him. I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Miles, her testimony. It's flawless. Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. If I'm lacking in info, I'll just draw it out. Press time, press time, press time. Think I would explain the significance of that earlier? You only confirmed that I did spill some perfume. That's all. That you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spill. Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character. Do as you like, but as for me, I believe you're the true culprit in this case. My, you're enthusiastic. Of course I should have guessed. Formally request for you to desist in your attack against my mentor. I will sue you for defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Maybe more like spreading gossip. Although your adamant denials are just adding fuel to the fire. Dare you say such a thing? Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you. Aw, why'd you have to ruin my fun? Shall I continue? Why exactly could you have not killed him? I was just about to testify to that. You're such an impatient man. I'm not really into that, you know, Edgeworth. Preferences have no bearing on what's at hand. Feel a little uncomfortable, aren't we? Objection! Miss You will desist in this tomfoolery and return to your testimony. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, I won't show you any mercy. Sorry. Miss You, continue with your testimony. Sure. As I was saying, couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday. At this rate, she'll inevitably escape. She really was the one who killed Faraday. She must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag.
Miles, what do you think you're doing?
Drawing the truth, that's what I'm doing. I don't recall a knife being presented at a trial earlier today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. So that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it with the lies? I've already figured you out. There's no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had to present was the key the Yatagarasu sent. And unless the key can magically turn into a knife, you don't really have a leg to stand on. Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest.
I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony.
Sure, why not? I'll even say it as many times as you like. There was a key in his evidence bag, but you can't kill anyone with a simple key. But you can kill anyone with a simple knife. Let's do it!
Miss Yu, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. It's a picture of the key the Yatagarasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it is in fact the secret ability to transform into a knife, which means that inside Ms. Faraday's bag is both the key and the murder knife. You knew the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not?
Yes.
Well, with the Yatagarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing the existence of the Yatagarasu's key.
Get my makeup right. Still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away. You could be lying for all I know. You would even now feign ignorance. I'm not feigning anything. But we can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence, can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Are you mocking my papa?
Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. Now take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real.
Oh, I didn't know there was such a trick to this thing.
You satisfied now? But of course you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew the knife and the key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you who isn't a member of law enforcement and who had never been privy to this trick, who would have never known about it to begin with. Furthermore, it's something the Yatagarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was?
Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. He told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. He didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms.
What you're saying is simply not possible.
And why not?
Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know the key was...
Oh! He mentions nothing about a knife. I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know. Wouldn't something of this importance be better left to oral communication?
Unfortunately, that's also impossible, because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. Highly classified information, even within the police force, is something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition?
yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh?
How can you laugh at a time like this?
She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic. That's not something we need to concern ourselves with.
I suppose you're right. Miss Yu, I'd like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of this knife.
Do you now? Why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me?
Oh, I will. I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. The secret behind the key. Only one person would have knowledge of it from the get-go. Who would know from the start that Yatagarasu's key...
Am I just about to say she's the Yatagarasu right here, right now?
Yeah! There's only one person who would have known about the dual nature.
And that is...
the person who sent the Yatagarasu's key to the police. Let's say the Yatagarasu herself.
You think this lawyer is the great Yatagarasu?
Miss Yu, you used Mr. Rell to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you?
who profess to bear a grudge against criminals. Why do something like this? Oh, she's going. She's laughing really hard. She is. This is the definition of yucking it up. Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? Sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill. It's even greater than when I sneak into someplace. You killed Faraday? Why? Answer me, Callisto, you! Callisto, you, huh? It's not my real name. My real identity is, yes, the great thief Yatagarasu. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rel an acquittal for little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. Once we entered the recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan to a complete mess. Chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things, money and authority. That's all thugs do. Feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I let them continue on their way, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. Didn't you say you despised criminals? I do, really. Have you forgotten about the KG8 incident, too? Maybe. Sort of fun inward. So then it was your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the evidence you sent. Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yatagarasu by using this key as evidence, and he would bring it with him, which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? Casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext I had a talk with Mr. Faraday. In order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then even let me hold the key just like that. He never noticed I'd changed the key into a knife inside that plastic bag. He didn't have the chance to take note of that knife that took his life. The life knife. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless one. But if you killed Mr. Faraday, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rel as well. I believe I mentioned why when we were placing Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness, and how that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they'd kill each other. Then that trick with the surveillance tape. Yeah, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. Risk was too high that I'd be caught. That's when I remembered the existence of the surveillance tape, which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. After all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet. You a defense attorney. How could you betray a client? Client? If you want to talk about who was a client of whose, first it was me. I was the client in that murder of the Kodopian embassy staff member Dead Man. You ordered a hit job? Still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Dead Man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? Can't be. You. Here. That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring. How could this... You don't mean... You're working with Manny Coaching too, do you? Maybe, maybe not. Guess you'll never know. Yatagarasu claims to be noble. You're just another cold-blooded monster. That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer. Quiet, you. You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. Just humbly accept the judgment of this court. Hey, Edgeworth. Do you know Yatagarasu's 3 legs? Do you know why that is? Yeah, no? Let me tell you. It means that the Yatagarasu is more than one razor-sharp way to do her work.
Get down!
You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yadagarasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan. I'll still gladly take it.
You mean the key was your real target?
Even after I gave you such great advice. Didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Or you may regret what comes of your negligence.
You two, get down!
Yeah, oh, Fran's actually having a rough one of it. Oh, Edgeworth can't move. Hey, mister, to your right!
Oh!
You!
Fucking Francisca's face is just like...
You alright, Francisca? I'm perfectly fine, Miles.
Her voice is shaking. Looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go?
That's a gunshot.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. This could be bad.
Sorry. Looks like she got away. I called the precinct. They should have a perimeter set up soon.
Detective Bad, are you alright? I heard a gunshot.
I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. They say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken. More importantly, boy, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma, are you two hurt?
I'm absolutely fine.
I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know. She just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir. Detective Bad, sir.
I'm sorry I doubted you.
Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all.
Heard about what happened from Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. Don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay?
You got it, Pops!
Pops. Lost one too many detective dramas recently, have we? Way to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment. I should get back to investigating. I swear I'll catch you if this is the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Bad, and take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday.
Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything.
Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison.
Oh, sullen judge.
I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe.
Ah, it was no problem, really. I mean, I lied too. I didn't help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor. Even if we didn't have His Honor's testimony, I think the lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, can't believe I was about to get fired during the first week as a detective.
Well, so long as you're not. You should work hard, given all that you have, and perform your duties well. And one more thing. Kay left a present for you.
She did? What is it?
Wasn't Kay left for me? Proof of their friendship.
Hey, she said give him to Swizz Roll. Swizzy Roll! It's a court-out special Swiss roll! Can I really have it?
Yes, it's a present meant for you after all.
Thanks a bunch! You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now.
Sure, go ahead. Swiss roll Detective Gumshoe and Kay bought together, while the one Kay saved never reached her father. It would appear that her sentiments had touched the heart of this detective.
He's so happy, it's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own.
I was asked by Kay to give it to him.
Woo! That was good, pal. Can't believe I gotta eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. I gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, where is she?
He's only just noticed now. Was mine not present when we discussed it earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him.
Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first, you know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement.
We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa.
Agreed. I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective.
Roger, sir. Don't worry. I'll investigate the next case we're on real well.
I'll, be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end.
That explains how this happened, and for the one against Mia to technically be her first case still. Nice.
A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I've tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he's caused me. I suppose that's just how things are. Can't be helped. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now...
So, you remember me now?
Yes, I remember everything. Kay, it's been a while.
You sure grew up a lot.
Of course. Thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me.
You know, I was really worried about you after that and all. Where have you all been this time?
Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They live really far away, so I wasn't able to come back here all that much. Is that what happened?
Well, I'm just glad you came back all right.
Does it all make sense now?
You betcha it does.
You know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently and...
Hold it! Actually, there's still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay.
First of all, why'd you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? That's Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father.
No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father.
Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu?
Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure.
But that's impossible.
What's with that look? You don't believe me?
It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now.
Alright then, how do you explain this?
It's a way of disarming any security system the user's choosing.
Yep, that's Little Thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatagarasu's greatest secret, and this little gizmo was used by my father. Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor, he was a great thief too. My father worked really hard to steal the truth, but he was killed, and the Yatagarasu was no more. Despite that, the Yatagarasu's been spied again recently.
Someone other than you?
Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article.
The Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card.
Meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady is behind this. The real Yatagarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out.
Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, if memory serves.
Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up, and I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so I could obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth.
And you're saying that I have your father and Miss Yu's identity backwards?
Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace.
Kay.
You're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal.
Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. If you're planning to commit a crime, I'm afraid I can't be complicit.
Mr. Edgeworth, you guys aren't making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now?
Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman.
That evil woman? You mean Callisto Yu?
I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me?
Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you.
Only for what?
When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I'm not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid.
Then you mean...
Yeah. This case has been weighing down my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you.
Mr. Edgeworth, thank you. Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Isn't that great, Kay? It sure is, Gummy.
Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. What is with their chummy relationship?
Aw, just let him do thing. Just let him be pals.
The great thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Byrne Faraday, Callisto Yu, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yatagarasu.
Now that is a word.
And the Yatagarasu's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. Is this gonna be to be continued?
Yeah, oh, the end. Yeah. Yeah! Brand new episode's been added. Turnabout Ablaze! I am gonna call it for the night. That'll be me. That's a good place to call it. It's a tad bit early, but I think it's perfectly fine. As long as it's within the range of 1 and 2. That's what I like. That's what I like. That's what I like. Yeah, cause I was wondering about that, cause like Mr. Bad, Detective Bad was like the Yatagarasu would never fucking kill people. He'd never be that classless as to kill a person. And you was just like, yeah, I totally killed him. Fuck. And I was like, really? I was wondering about that. I'm not gonna say that I super suspected. I was willing to go with you being like basically being cornered into it if she was the real Yatagarasu, but it was just one of those things in my head that I was just like, damn, really? But yeah, there's my Twitter. If y'all want to follow that, it's got docket, it's got scheduling, it's got whenever I go live. That'll do it for the night. I'm hungry. I'm gonna get some eggs or something. That'll be it for the stream. Same time tomorrow. Night night.